somebody wrong, it gets around. I mean, it's total word of mouth. So, you know, it's like if you go to a particular business and you have an issue with them for whatever reason and it's justifiable, it gets around. It gets to everybody. And considering how many people attend the Maryland Renaissance Festival, but also how many of those people are also interconnected with other Renaissance festivals, I mean, it can be a substantial.
The Ren community is not huge, but everybody knows everybody.
Wow.
If you're a regular.
So, I mean, does this apply to people as well as businesses and other?
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes, because a lot of these shops have shops in other fairs.
Oh, okay.
They travel with the fairs. You can really go to a Renaissance festival year round.
You just need to follow it.
You just need to follow it. You can follow it. It's like parties.
Well, there
For
are
lack
people
of a
who
better
work
word.
here. Well, I mean, there are people who work here. For example, I know one girl who works over at Sandler, who all she does, her job is she goes from fair to fair to fair to fair, and she works with sometimes the same company, sometimes different companies, but that's her job. That's what she does, and she's not the only person like that.
Yeah,
I
there's
mean,
a lot
they travel all over the United States.
Just like the entertainers.
Just going from fair to fair to fair and working, and that's what they do.
Just like the entertainers.
Yep.
Same thing.
So you guys were talking earlier about the children. Can you talk a little bit more about how the children are involved in the fair? Because y'all had some great stuff to say earlier about the kids, and we weren't filming at that moment.
I know a 12-year-old boy who's grown up in fair. He is the most grown-up 12-year-old I've ever met in my life. He goes and sits in the front row of Shakespeare every day. He then again will sit up here in front of the O'Danny Girls, which is one of our body girl singing groups, and he knows every word. Well, in the past year, it's all started to dawn on him what it means when they're talking. And it's a big laugh. We all get a big kick out of it. And for years, he'd come up and he'd hug us, and he'd be about right here. Well, then he got a little taller and a little taller, and now he's, all of a sudden it clicked to him, gee, I understand why you guys all like the women in the corsets. It clicked, he's 12, you know, but he is probably one of the most, I've hung out with this kid, with a bunch of adults, and he fits right in. And he's one of the smartest kids I know. He'll be here later today, actually. They're supposed to be here today.
Is that a child?
Oh, okay.
Is that a childhood though?
Is it a childhood?
You know,
It's
should it?
He also plays soccer. He also plays soccer. He's on a soccer team, and some days he doesn't show up here with his parents. Some days his parents come and he stays with grandma, and grandma takes him to the soccer game. So he's a normal kid too. He goes to school with normal kids. You know, but he's very intelligent and very aware of his surroundings and very aware of things that 12-year-olds generally aren't. He can recite Shakespeare. How many 12-year-olds do you know can recite Shakespeare? Not many that I know of anyway, other than being involved around here.
I think the thing that happens with most of the kids here that's really neat is that it loses its stigma. Like, sexual things lose their stigma. They're not raised, oh, that's taboo, oh, that's bad, you shouldn't talk about this, you shouldn't talk about that. They learn what is and isn't appropriate. But they also grow up then with a really healthy respect for other people and space and stuff like that. And they're very affectionate children. I mean, I know the son of one of my friends who's been doing fair probably since, I know they've been here for years. He's been doing it at least since he was a little kid. And he never once hit that point where girls were icky. He has been hugging me every day for the last 5 years that I've known him, and he's never once reached that age where he was like, I can't hug you because you're a girl, that's yucky. You know, so there's a maturity, but they still have a childhood. They still run around, they play. These kids do stuff outside of here. Dayton plays football.
Yeah.
You know, but they play and they're loved and they have a safe community to grow up in because there is that family aspect to it. All these people become aunts and uncles. These people watch out for them. So my friend Stephanie will let her daughter Rowan go run off and play with Dayton, and she won't worry about the fact that her 3-year-old child is running around in this great big fairground because she knows that wherever she's at, somebody's keeping an eye on her. And by that same token, she's keeping an eye on somebody else's kids. Everybody just looks out for everybody else.
Takes a village.
Yeah, not just to raise
It's
an
the
idiot,
old
though.
takes, yeah, no, but you know what I mean?
It takes a village to raise a child.
It takes a village to raise a child, and we all pitch in. And I have no children of my own, but I have so many nieces and nephews in this place that that if they get into trouble, they can run to me. And they know that I'm looking out for them, and I always keep my eyes open. Where are the kids that I know? And, you know, you're always looking out for them to make sure nobody's doing anything untoward.
And if they get lost too,
They know
they can run
walk up to somebody.
the nearest, and even if they don't necessarily know them, they also know I can go to the nearest booth, I can go to the nearest musician or this or that and the other thing, and they probably know mommy and daddy, and they can get me back there.
Right.
So there's that too.
You know, when I was a kid, I could run all over my neighborhood, and my parents never cared. You can't do that anymore.
No, but here they can.
But you can.
This is
their
that neighborhood that they can do that now.
And I think maybe that's the thing that almost makes these kids more able to be kids, is that it is a safe place that they can run around and be children and not have to worry about, you know, oh, you know, don't talk to that strange man in the van, or, you know, whatever. It's like what we had as children, being able to run around in our in our neighborhoods until like 9 o'clock at night.
Till the street lights came
on.
on.
Yeah, or even past that, and not be scared to do that. They have that here.
Well, and the
that's
kids
thing
don't
that
become
kids
judgmental either
Yeah.
here. If you look around here at all of the different types of people and all of the different subgroups they may belong to within here, people don't judge people by the way we look around here. If you walk around here, you'll see people with piercings all over them, top to bottom, many more than this young lady has. You'll see people that walk around in a kilt that are tattooed from head to toe. But we don't judge that. They're still our friends no matter what. And those children then brought up with that healthy, this is a person. It doesn't matter that this person wears tattoos. It doesn't matter that this person is pierced. It doesn't matter. They're still a person, and they still are the same inside, and it doesn't matter, you know, what their outside covering is. I feel much more comfortable here. I'm not a skinny girl. The world out there, skinny girls are shoved down your throat. If you're not a skinny girl, you're not in.
Yeah.
If you look around here, there's a lot of robust women. We fit in here. So,
Do you find that you get a lot of attention here on that count?
Positive and negative.
yeah.
But I think it also goes back to what we were saying before about stripping away all the sort of inhibitions and society strictures that you put on yourself when you're not here, is that you are more confident, so you get more attention. So, I mean, it's not just necessarily how I appear, it's how I feel.
Yes.
And how that comes out, and how that makes a person more attractive, because there is that much more confidence. So,
Whenever you're ready.
What?
So whenever you're ready.
You forgot the cartoni head, so
Hello.
don't give me shit.
I was saying whenever you're ready. I wasn't being sarcastic.
I'm ready.
Are
Thank
you sure?
oh, don't
Oh,
worry.
we're going to
We'll
get him.
his
Don't
later.
worry.
So, you guys are both wearing these pins with Latin on them. Well, hers doesn't. Maybe it does.
No, hers doesn't have
Not
Latin.
yet.
Not
She's
yet.
going lunch and waiting.
So, can you talk a little bit about this group?
The Wenches Guild is a national guild that was started in New York
Hello.
by Lars Lundegaard.
Okay.
And he started this guild in a way to give us kind of a group to have fun with, and it's become a sisterhood. It is the International Wenches Guild. This area local is the Local 42. And to us, the word wench is not a bad word in any way. It has been connotated as a bad word in the past, but it is not a bad word. The acronym for it is Women Entitled to Nothing But Complete Happiness. And we have a great time just making people feel good around here. We're kind of like the eyes, the extra eyes around here with security. We're the extra eyes when a child gets lost from their parents. Most of us all have our cell phones on us, and we know to call security, or we know who the nearest security guard is, and we know how to make a situation diffuse or go away. Lost children are our specialty, pretty much. I mean, and lost patrons, and you know, people that need medical attention, and I carry things like that in my basket, you know, where I have a tissue for a crying child. And it's just a friendly face around here. People need directions. We give them directions. People want, hey, what's the best show to see today? We can tell them what show we enjoy, what one we think is the best show.
So,
I have a question, actually.
go ahead.
And you said you like to, or you are able to diffuse situations.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give me an example of that?
Well, if it's not me personally, I'm calling in the Rogues, which is the opposite of the women's group. And if there's a fight going on, like last week, one of the Rogues stepped in between a fight. A woman was about ready to bat her boyfriend upside the head with a tankard. And these things, it was full. And she had already whacked him once with it, and she was about to whack him again. And so, seeing the situation, we called the Rogues in, and they stepped between the situation to help diffuse the situation. We got the security people there who took care of the situation. So in other words, it won't continue to go on because we see it, and the way I put it was, you're in my happy place, don't spoil my happy place.
Do you find a lot of that? I mean,
No.
No, not really. But I think that any time that you get people together in a situation where things are a little bit looser and where there's alcohol involved, it can lead to negative things going on. And I think that that's the thing too, is that when you consider that on any given day here, there's probably between 15 and 30,000 people that come through the gate. You have a whole lot of people together in a small area, and there's a lot of alcohol, and there can be tension. And so, I mean, it's something though that you would find any place where there's the same combination of things. At a sports, at a sports venue, at a concert, anything where you've got a lot of people getting together and you add alcohol to the mix, there can be negative things that happen. So it's not just here; it can happen anywhere. We just sort of sometimes learn a little bit better the ways to kind of gently pull that situation apart, where it's not going to it's not going to escalate into something bigger.
Right.
So it sounds as if the Guild of Wenches is in some way. Say when.
I hate you for not having this time on Ed. It's okay. Sorry.
So it seems like the Guild of Wenches is in a way a surrogate mother for a lot of the people who come here often. Would you agree with that?
It could be. It could be, yeah.
I don't know that that's the entire.
I don't know if that's, yeah, I don't think that was the initial, it's more of a sisterhood than a mother. Although now the younger wenches that do come in, a lot of them are so shy, and this lets them come out of their shell. We've seen a number of the girls who are very shy this year starting to come out of their shell and participate in more activities and become more flirtatious and have a better time. Because a lot of coming here is the art of flirting. I mean, and you'll see it throughout.
Why is that? Why is that a big part of it?
Because you can't do it in the outside world and get away with it.
Why not?
What's an example, rather, and then maybe that would better illustrate.
An example of flirting, or
Well,
an
I mean,
example of how you can't do it in the outside world?
Yeah, I mean, flirting is, reasonably common in the outside world, but I mean, by suggesting that you can't do it in the outside world, I'm led to think that maybe there's something more. I mean, is there something that you're doing as part of that flirting that wouldn't normally be?
Okay. Most people here, and as you see us throughout here today, you'll notice there's a lot of hugging, a lot of kissing, a lot of where it doesn't go past hugging and kissing. How many people in the real world do you just walk up to and hug and kiss? Okay. The flirtation here happens with a number of different ways. Batting of the eyes, the flipping of the fan, the sending of a rose hit, little gifts that we send back and forth.
I think that it becomes more involved because of the fact that you're sort of putting yourself into an era where the flirtation wasn't as blatant, or at least it wasn't as blatant in the same way. So it sort of like becomes more of an art